Hey, what's going on? What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Halftime FC. I'm your host Isaiah, and yeah, this is the Premier League weekend wrap-up show for Matchweek 26. This will probably be the last wrap-up show because I wasn't able to catch every game this weekend as it happened, and you know, I realized that I like to comment on the games when they're fresh in my mind, and usually after 2 or 3 days, they're not so fresh in my mind. So, um, I still will talk about every game. Yeah, so let's get into it. But this definitely be the last one. So expect videos on Saturdays and Sundays, and just generally after games happen, which is good. That means just more videos, more content. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. Manchester City versus West Ham was the first game of the weekend in which Man City were able to scrap past West Ham. West Ham were very good on the day. They pressed Man City, which is not something we've seen a lot of teams be successful at. And they were able to play through City with some great hold up play from Antonio in the middle of the field, and Lingard able to slither his way past the City defense. Ruben Diaz scored the first goal in the 30th minute. Great header, which from a ball that was placed there through a cross from Kevin De Bruyne. Really good pass um, from Kevin De Bruyne. Sergio Aguero did start this game, which is good. I think that's a good sign for City fans that he started this game because that's he's their top scorer. They want their talisman back. But West Ham found a goal through some link up play with Antonio, Fornals, and Suchek. The ball eventually going to Antonio and was able to bang it in. But John Stones would have the last goal of the day with a brilliant ball played in by Mahrez to Stones, and Stones finding the back of the net. So both the city's defenders scored, and it's rightfully so. They scored in the same game because they did give up a goal, which is something that City haven't done in a while. And also, you know, they're probably the best center back pairing in the Premier League right now. John Stones and Ruben Diaz. So it was nice that they both scored in the same day. They have that chemistry going. I think Diaz really gives Stones a lot of confidence back there. Um, defending in the final third, and City weren't that great on the day. But rightfully so. They played that midweek game against Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Champions League, so a bit lethargic. West Ham had more time to rest, but City still getting the win. I was impressed with David Moyes' tactics, though. Um, I believe that too many teams that play City just played City one style, just tried to sit back and maybe counter at the end. But no, Moyes was able to get West Ham possession and control a little bit of the ball at times. Of course, if you're playing City, they are gonna control the ball. But yeah, I think Pep Guardiola also alluded to the fact that they weren't gonna put something beautiful together today. He said that it wasn't gonna look nice, but the point for City was just to get over the line and maintain their spot at the top of the league, in which they lead by 12 points. But we can move on from this game. Well, before we move on, Sufals was amazing in this game. He was by far the best defensive player on the team. He picked off everything that came to his side. Played the ball out. Very very solid game from Sufals today. I was very impressed with him. But yeah, let's move on. Manchester City's next opponents will be Wolves today. They play in a couple of hours. And West Ham's next opponent will be Leeds. I expect City to beat Wolves. I think City have more than enough to beat Wolves. There'll definitely be a big change in the lineup. I believe so. Excuse me. Let's fix up my shirt. There'll definitely be a big change in the lineup. I think so. Just want to give some players some rest, stuff like that. Wolves are definitely going to come at them, but I think that City will I think City will triumph over Wolves. I'm predicting a score of 2-0. West Ham play Leeds next, and it just all depends on what brand of Leeds football we get. I can see this game. I can see this game being a high scoring game. Um, I can see it being a high scoring game. But then I could also see West Ham getting a clean sheet against Leeds. They played some very good defense against City, and they should be able to carry that over. I'm gonna predict a. I'm gonna predict a. I'm gonna predict a 2-0 win for West Ham as well against Leeds. I think they'll defend very well, and also I think that Leeds will leave themselves open to a counterattack. There'll probably be an early goal, and then there'll be a late goal when Leeds try to go chase it. And West Ham are good on the counterattack with their pace of Antonio. Fornals is good on the ball, things like that. But Leia, let's move on. West Brom versus Brighton was the next game, and West Brom started off really well, and you know they started off really well, and they got a headed goal by Bartley in the 11th minute off a corner, which was really big for them because they are in that second to last relegation spot. They came into the day with 14, got the win over got the win over Brighton, but Brighton really should have won this game. They had so many chances to score, blatant chances, missed two penalties. Pascal Gross missing one in the first half, I believe. Banging it over the top, banging it against the top bar. Ball goes back into play, and I'm sorry, yeah, and Danny Welbeck missing, missing another goal in the missing another penalty in the second half, and that one just slapped on the bar, and just keeper went totally the wrong way. So, you know, very unfortunate for Brighton. They also had a great chance with Mope going in and shooting the ball, getting into the box and shooting the ball. Keeper deflecting it, and Connolly was right there. Could have put the ball right into the net, and just for some reason, just sends it into the stands. Just a really bad day for Brighton. Really bad day for Graham Potter. Bad 2 games because they really didn't play all that. Well, they played really well against Palace, but didn't really play too well in this game. But if there was a team that were do lucky breaks in this game, it was Brighton. They even had a free kick that was taken away because the referee Lee Mason, there was a controversy over whether he blew the whistle or not. Lewis Dunk catching West Brom's keeper out of position. Excuse me. Yeah, Lewis Dunk catching Johnston out of position. And referee blew the whistle. You could hear it. Lewis Dunk takes it quickly and scores. The goal is disallowed, and then Mason allows it, and then he goes to check VAR, and then VAR disallows it. Just a messy day for Brighton. One they could probably just like put in the scrapbooks and just whatever, but it does have some pretty bad implications for them because of this game and the other results that happened later on in the weekend. Brighton are now officially in the relegation fight with Fulham and Newcastle, and them. Of course, I believe Burnley will get pulled into it as well. They're not safe. Burnley they've been very disappointing lately. Burnley. Fulham with 23 points in the relegation zone. Newcastle with 26 points, and Brighton with 26 points as well. So they're definitely in the fight, and Burnley sit atop those teams with only 28. So a very interesting relegation fight is preparing itself to come to full on survival mode towards the end of the season. But yeah, let's see who West Brom have next. West Brom play Everton next in a game they probably will lose. Everton are really good, and Brighton play Leicester City next in a game that it could go. It could go either way. I'd probably say that game ended in a draw only because Leicester have so many injuries. but Leicester still do have quality in the team. But I'll give my predictions after I get through all these games. Aston Villa versus Leeds. Only one goal in this game. El Ghazi scoring the goal off of off of a cross in which El Ghazi is able to sneak it to the back post on the right side. Cooper playing him off sides, being the only man not getting forward with the rest of the rest of the Leeds line. Um, Find himself totally open, just bangs it right into the left side of the net. And Leeds had plenty of opportunities to score. Bossed the game a little bit, had way more of the possession, at 70% of possession to Aston Villa's 30. A lot more shots, and it really just came down to some great saves by Martinez, and some really good defending. Aston Villa didn't really let Leeds get out onto breaks. They dropped back, got into position very well, and yeah, there was a really good chance for Rafinha at the end. Rafinha was no, he was quite good on the day. He's quickly becoming, I think, Leeds' best player, the Brazilian star, and yeah, just had a chance at the end, but got his head onto a ball on the near post and just unfortunately put too much power into it. The ball drove into the ground and popped back up over the bar, and that was pretty much the story of the game. Just a really funny moment in the game. Llorente goes down off of Ollie Watkins' foul, and the guy looked to be in pain. He's rolling around, holding his knee, and Ollie Watkins goes to pick him up, and all of a sudden, Llorente's just on his feet, just totally good, and I don't like to see those kind of things in football, man. I think it cheapens the game. Of course, players are more inclined to go down. Some players are taught to go down because if they don't go down, they won't get the decision from the match official. But I don't know. I don't like that. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was kind of cheap. I thought it was just, you know, it's not what I like in football. But yeah, these things happen. It's part of the game, so you just kind of got to accept it. But you know, not too much damage done from this game. Uh, Leeds sitting 11th now with 35 points. Aston Villa sit ninth with 39, and Arsenal right in the middle of them with 37. So not much damage. Leeds the only promoted side this year that aren't in the relegation zone. So they'll live. Leeds will live. Bielsa will live. You know. But moving on, Newcastle versus Wolves. A big blow for Newcastle in this game. They tie with Wolves 1-1. They draw the game. But, even though no team lost, Steve Bruce has to feel like there's a big loss in his team because, like I said, they are in that relegation fight. They sit one spot above Fulham, only separated by 3 points, and Newcastle lost Alan St. Maximin and Almiron in this game. And I have to say, before those injuries, Newcastle were very bright in this game. You could see the hope. You could see the reason why Newcastle should believe that they will stay up. Newcastle fans should believe that they could stay up. They played on the front foot. They had Wolves on the back foot for a while. Wolves eventually able to settle into the game, but it was really Newcastle's game. And Wolves just responded to them. A goal by Lascelles in, I believe, the 52nd minute. Not it was in the 52nd minute. A headed goal, and Ruben Neves scored a kind of late goal in the 73rd minute. But you know, yeah, big blow. Alan St. Maximin and Almiron are going to be out till April, and Callum Wilson's probably going to come back in 2 weeks, and Newcastle have West Brom this weekend, which I probably have to take West Brom. Probably have to take West Brom in this game. Yeah, I have to take West Brom because Newcastle, I don't see where the goals are going to come from. Joe Linton, he's not scoring. I just don't see where they're really coming from without their playmakers. But yeah, for Wolves, they have Manchester City later on today. I think Wolves will probably drop that game 2-0. I'm predicting City to beat Wolves. But moving on to the next game, Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Fulham, of course, in that first relegation spot with 23 points. After this game, in which they tied Crystal Palace 0-0, a 0-0 draw at Selhurst Park. And this was a game that Fulham really should have won. They should have took advantage of the fact that they had so many chances. Josh Maja was probably the best chance of the day, getting his head on a ball that was crossed in by Cavallero, and just keeping it a little bit too centered to the keeper, and just not able to finish. Also, there was a great block by Gary Cahill towards the end of the game. Anderson getting really close to the goal. He had a couple of chances. Anderson could have had it in 2 goals himself, but poor finishing in the first half. But yeah, he gets his foot on the ball right in the 6 yard box. Tries to blast it in, tries to get the ball into the net, but Gary Cahill just threw himself at the ball, just like him and Kouyaté were doing against Brighton in their last game, just throwing himself at the ball, just getting a block. Just a veteran move, just keeping them in the game, keeping the tie. And yeah, this game finishes out 0-0. Fulham will feel disappointed, and Crystal Palace will feel like they need Zaha back because they really weren't able to create a lot. They got Ayu on the wing. They need Zaha back. They need that guy back. I think Zaha's coming back for the game, not the game against United, the Tottenham game, which they play this weekend, I believe. Let me see. Yes, they play that this weekend. Tottenham game. But tomorrow they play Manchester United at Selhurst Park. I'm expecting them to lose. Crystal Palace they haven't created enough. Fulham had 16 shots in this game, 4 on target. Played more passes. Just I don't know why they didn't win. They need to finish their goals, man. They need to win before Brighton. Brighton's probably gonna end up pulling away from the pack, so it'll be between them, Newcastle, and I believe Burnley. Burnley will be in this relegation fight. They will be in there. Yeah, they just need to Fulham. Everything else about Fulham great on the day. Everything else about Fulham great. Just the finishing just needed to be a little bit more cutting edge. Finish your chances, Fulham. Stay up. I'm pulling for you to stay up. But Fulham next, I believe they have their rematch against Tottenham. Yes, they have their rematch on Thursday against Tottenham. It was a game that ended, I believe it was a tie last time they played. It was 1-0 or 2. No, 1-1 or 2-2. Can't really remember, but I remember it was a tie. But it was a draw. But yeah, in this game, I'm expecting another draw. I'm expecting another draw in this game. I think Fulham have just enough to stay in this game with Tottenham. I think they defend. I think they're a very physical team who can possibly defend very well. I like Fulham. Yeah, I like Fulham. I think they'll boss the midfield as well. I'm expecting a draw in this game, 2-2. Moving on, Leicester City versus Arsenal. I predicted Arsenal to win this game. Arsenal did win this game. I predicted 2-1. Arsenal ended up winning 3-1. Coming off of that just heroic performance against Benfica where they just didn't give up. Leicester City struggling. They got that early goal from Yuri Tillemans. Arsenal were switched off defensively and allowed Tillemans to get like a really easy goal, I think. And after that, Arsenal just came on. They won a free kick over on the corner side of the right side of the goal. I don't really know how to describe that area, but over on the side where the wingers are, they won a corner. And Pepe put the ball in brilliantly to David Luiz, who was able to guide the ball into the left side of the goal. And after that, Wilfred Ndidi gave up a really bad handball in his own box. Lacazette was able to put that away in the second half. And then after that, Pepe was able to score a tap in off of a counter that wasn't handled very well by Leicester. It left Pepe all alone in front of goal and just tap it in. This is probably one of the best games Pepe has played for Arsenal. I was very impressed with him and Willian as well. Yeah, played well, played well. I feel good for Pepe because he's been very criticized for his performances since he's been on Arsenal. Um, and yeah, he had himself a good day against Leicester City. Leicester City, a big blow to them. Harvey Barnes is out. Now he'll probably be gone for like 6 weeks. James Madison still hasn't come back yet. No word on when he will come back. It's week to week for him. So I'm expecting Leicester City to drop out of that third spot that they're in. They'll probably drop down. Um, of course, they'll probably drop down. They're gonna drop down. Yeah, you can't drop up. But yeah, um, let's see who they have next. I think Leicester City have Brighton next. Yes, they do have Brighton next. Very winnable game for them. Brighton will be hungry and scrappy. So I'm predicting a draw maybe for these teams. I just don't think Leicester have enough creative ability because Arsenal really did cruise to that win. It wasn't much of a fuss from, but a couple winnable games for Leicester City. They also have United coming up in the FA Cup. Um, Before that, they'll have Sheffield United. So a couple winnable games for Leicester. For Arsenal, Arsenal will play Burnley on the weekend. Um, Definitely winnable for Arsenal. A winnable game. But moving on. Tottenham versus Burnley. Yeah, I expected Burnley to get smacked up, and that's exactly what happened. Burnley lost 4-0 to Tottenham. Gareth Bale scoring a brace, his second goal being the better of the two. It's a really nice goal. Um, Lucas Moura getting on the score sheet, also Harry Kane. Um, you know, I believe Tottenham are better with Gareth Bale in the lineup. I really do. They're definitely better with Gareth Bale in the lineup. Albeit it's against Burnley, man. Burnley aren't a very strong team. Yeah, if not really much to say about this game because I expected Tottenham to do what they needed to do against Burnley. There was no reason to not smack Burnley. They smacked them 5-0 last year, I believe. And yeah, just good play. Just more quality players out there. I expected them. I expected them to win. Their counterattack was just way too much for Burnley, and some of their build up play was really nice. Um, I was gonna say there was a very good argument. There was a kind of a heated argument on Sky Sports between Harry Redknapp and Roy Keane over whether Tottenham are an average side or not. Roy Keane saying that you know besides Kane, Son, besides Kane and Son, Tottenham are an average side. Harry Redknapp, of course, refusing to accept that. Uh, I don't think Tottenham are average. I think some players on the team maybe can't make it into other teams, like what Keane was saying. I think Reguilon's very good. Kane's very good. I think Tottenham can be very very good, like Redknapp was saying, but they're just not playing to their full potential. But yeah, if you want to check out a really good argument, it's there. It's on YouTube. It's on Sky. It was really good. But yeah, moving on. Chelsea Man United. This game disappointed me in the first half. This game ended 0-0. The second half it picked up more intensity. Giroud had the best chance to win the game with a header that he dived for, but unfortunately he missed by inches. United had a chance to win it at the end with a break in which they had about like four players breaking in front of Chelsea's back line. The pass, unfortunately, from the right side wasn't good enough. I thought Ali got this game wrong. I like Greenwood up top. He's ambidextrous with his feet. If you can be ambidextrous with feet, he's very good. I like Mason Greenwood, but I thought James was in the game for too long. Um, I thought, I just thought he got the substitutions wrong. Brought in Martial for Greenwood. Martial hasn't been in form this season. I don't know what he expected from Martial, but not much talking points for this game for me, really. Chelsea did play well though. I didn't think Chelsea would be up for the challenge, but they were up for the challenge, and they did boss the game at points. They were, Chelsea were on top. Had a little bit more possession, played some more passes. Uh, yeah, a watchable game in the second half. Not more so, not the first. Very intense. I was disappointed that they tied again. That they drew again because they drew last time they played on at Stamford Bridge. Oh, excuse me. Last time they played at Old Trafford, they played at Stamford Bridge this time. Um, yeah, just whatever. I guess they can't beat each other. It's fine. I'm gonna move on. Both of these teams. Let's see who they have next. Chelsea have Liverpool next. Ooh, Liverpool might. Actually, Chelsea might be able to win that game. I'm gonna go Chelsea 1-0 in that game. But I think it's gonna end 1-1. But I'm gonna go Chelsea 1-0. And United next. They have Crystal Palace tomorrow. Like I said, United should be able to win that game 2-0. I'm gonna go 2-0 for that game for United. But yeah, the next game after that day was Liverpool versus Sheffield United versus Liverpool, and yeah, Liverpool able to get goals from Curtis Jones off of a weird play in which I believe that the Sheffield United players thought the ball had went out when it didn't, and they all turned off, left Curtis Jones wide open in the box, can't miss it, buries it into the left corner. And then a goal from Roberto Firmino that was given as a own goal by Keane Bryan, which I don't know why, but it took a deflection and found its way in the net, but it was on target. So a good win for Liverpool. Definitely had to fight for it, had to show heart for it. Sheffield United didn't just give it to them. And yeah, just a good win for Pool. I expected them to win, so there are no surprises. They are coming off of a 4-game losing streak, but expected them to win. Got the job done 2-0. They could get out of there. They face Chelsea next, which is going to be pretty tough because Chelsea played well against United. Can't be mad at the way they played. They played well. But moving on to the other Merseyside team, we have Everton versus Southampton. Everton got an early goal from Richarlison. One-on-one with the keeper. He puts the ball around the keeper. He's able to get around the keeper and bang it into the left side of the net. And Southampton, for a lot of this game, they just not really there. Not really there. Just, at that they're kind of just sentient. Just kind of aware that they were alive but not living. You know what I mean? Came alive. End of the game though. Vestergaard had a really good chance off of like a scrap. Ball ended up right in front of him. He goes for it, but then slips. Pickford's able to save the ball pretty kind of semi-comfortably, but Everton hold on to the win. That's big for Everton. They had that little slip during the season where we thought they were falling off, but were able to pick themselves back up. They sit in 7th now. Liverpool sitting 6th. They're tied on points with 43. Chelsea ahead of those teams with 44 in 5th spot, and West Ham in 4th with 45 points, and Leicester City with 49. I expect Leicester to drop off though. But a game later today, Man City versus Wolves at the Etihad. I'm expecting City to come out and do what they have to do. Expect them to beat Wolves. Wolves haven't been very good this year. They're struggling to find goals. They don't have their top scorer, Raul. Willian Jose hasn't come on. Fabio Silva hasn't come on the way that Wolves fans probably would have liked them to. But, yeah, game today in a couple of hours. And yeah, that's probably it for me today. This will, like I said, this will probably be the last. This will probably be the last weekend review. I'm gonna start putting out videos, right after games happen. If I'm not able to catch the game, gonna watch the game and put out a video that day because these games aren't really fresh in my mind, and it feels bad not talking about the game when they're fresh in my mind because it's so much to remember. Remembering like 8 games, 9 games, detail for detail, because I'm a very detailed person when I speak, so I like to be like that. So definitely expect videos on Saturdays and Sundays now. No more weekend review wrap up. Maybe there will be, but it won't be. Trying to be detailed more so like just how I feel. How do I feel about this, feel about that. But yeah, expect videos on Saturdays and Sundays now. Yeah. So some interesting games. Not really interesting. Most interesting game, Liverpool versus Chelsea. Like I said, Chelsea, I'm expecting them to win. Um, but yeah, thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe if you like what I'm putting out. If you don't, it's all good. But yeah, I'll see you after the game today, Man City versus Wolves, and we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about the games for the rest of the week. So, all right, peace, guys.